Woman in the Woods. It started with the fog, thick, heavy, suffocating fog that rolled into the village every autumn night without fail. The elders said it was nothing unusual. It had always been there. But the younger ones whispered another story. They spoke of a woman who walked in the fog, a figure with hair hanging like a black veil and eyes so pale they seemed to glow in the dark. Most dismissed it as a tale to keep children from wandering too far. But the villagers knew one thing for certain. Every year around the harvest moon, someone went missing. One such night, a young man named Elias decided to prove the legend false. He was stubborn, proud, the kind who laughed at old stories told by candlelight. He told his friends he would walk into the forest when the fog was at its thickest, stay there until dawn, and return with proof that the so-called woman in the woods was nothing but superstition. They begged him not to go. Some even cried. But Elias only smirked, took his lantern, and disappeared into the trees. At first, the forest was quiet, eerily so. No rustling of animals, no chirping of insects, only the crunch of his boots against damp leaves. The deeper he walked, the more the fog closed in. It wrapped around him like a shroud, thick enough to smother the light of his lantern. He felt the air grow colder, heavier. That was when he noticed it, a shadow between the trees. Not moving, not breathing, just watching. Elias tightened his grip on the lantern. "Who's there?" he called, his voice shaking. No answer. The shadow remained. He tried to convince himself it was only a tree, a trick of the fog. But when he blinked, when his eyes opened again, the shadow was closer. Panic set in. He turned and walked quickly, then faster until his quick steps became a run. But no matter how fast he moved, he could feel her behind him, not with footsteps, not with sound, just presence, cold and crushing, as if the fog itself was alive and pressing against his chest. Finally exhausted, he stumbled into a small clearing. His lantern flickered violently and went out. In the silence that followed, he heard it for the first time. A whisper, not from the trees, not from the wind, from inside his head. "Stay with me, forever." The words slithered through his mind like venom. He clutched his ears, but it didn't matter. The voice was inside him. And then he saw her, the woman. She was only a few feet away, pale skin stretched thin over her bones, long hair dripping as though she had risen from the ground itself. Her face was hidden, but her eyes, those empty, glowing eyes, stared into his soul. Elias tried to scream, but no sound came out. He tried to run, but his legs refused to move. The fog coiled around his body like chains, dragging him to his knees. The last thing he saw before the world went black was her reaching hand, fingers long and skeletal, brushing against his cheek. When the villagers searched the next morning, there was no trace of Elias. No footprints, no lantern, nothing. Only the fog, curling lazily through the trees as though it had swallowed him whole. But some say, if you walk too deep into the forest when the moon is red, you'll see him, not alive, not dead, standing beside her. Another pale figure, watching, waiting, whispering to the next lost soul who dares enter the woods. "Stay with us, forever."